I'm making another unboxing video. You'll have to persevere with me because I'm trying to do this one on my own with a tablet, and it's not that easy. Slightly cheated on this one because I thought they'd perhaps sent the wrong item, and I checked inside, but that's about all I've done. So what I've purchased here is that hedge trimmer, Husqvarna HA110, and I thought they'd sent that one, the HA850. You can see this is the Husqvarna catalogue, and that's what the recommended retail price is. I purchased it from F.R. Jones and Son, and I paid £210. So let's look inside the box and see what you get. Oh, I think I've managed to open it upside down. This is a mystery thing for you to work out. I put this in, it's something separate I ordered. I'll show you what that is in a minute. Right. So what you get is the instruction manual. And I think that's the one in English, and then obviously these are the same thing but in other languages. We get, I don't know, some other booklet in Japanese, I don't know, I really don't know. Another operator's manual, and then bag of tools, grease, Allen key, hex key, whatever you want to call it, put it together. The bar that connects onto the hedge trimmer attachment, and this, quite neat, is a, it's going to be difficult. Handguard. And I'll just shut this down. The actual hedge trimmer attachment itself. This has come out very well. Right, just give me a second. So here's exactly what you should have in the box. The actual hedge trimmer attachment itself, the hedge trimmer guard, box of tools and grease and bits and pieces put it together, the guarantee, handguard I think you call that, the short reach shaft, and then operator's instructions, and then obviously I got an additional package there, and I'll show you what that is now. So the difference in price between in the book between this short reach and a long reach is £30, and obviously the only difference, I suppose, what you'll get in the box with the other one is all you'll do is get a longer shaft. That is it. I can't see you getting anything different. Well, there is something different. In the instructions, if you want to adjust the angle of the head, right here they show you doing it, you've got to push it down. They're using a nice clean tree trunk to adjust it, but obviously most of the time you're going to be pushing that down. So obviously you loosen this, and then what they're saying is push the end of that down, which is most of the times going to be on the ground, and then once you've got the angle, you tighten this back up. So notice what's missing is the handle that comes with the long reach, and I thought that was a bit pants. I don't want to be pushing it down the floor because it's going to get dirt and crap in there. It's going to get it anyway through cutting hedges, but it just seemed a bit, I don't know, a bit. I think they should have included it basically. I can't think the only reason is for costs. I don't know, but whether they're a bit worried about you putting your hands for, I mean, I can't see any difference anyway why they would exclude that. So I'm going to show you what I bought. Give me a second. So for an additional cost, I think it was about £12, I bought the handle. It says it's only available for the long reach, but it fits on, I've looked at it, it looks like it go on just fine. Because I don't want to be pushing that end on the floor. I don't know, I just want to be using the handle. I'm just surprised, a little bit surprised. I don't know whether they, like I say, whether they'd be doing that to save a bit of money. I prefer it, but you know, and if it meant paying a little bit extra, I prefer it, because like I say, most of the time you're going to be pushing that on down on the ground, and it hasn't even got an end protector. So I don't know, I just thought that was a bit pants. But there you go, that's what you get in the box, that's what you don't get in the box, which I got extra. I'm just going to give you a little comparison now. Give me a second. Just thought I'd do a quick, you know, just show you, so you know, those who can't get their heads around the numbers, I don't know why you wouldn't be able to, but that's a 55cm long blade on the hedge trimmer attachment, and that's it compared to the 60cm domestic Husqvarna 122 HD60. Just a little comparison. I'm going to put it together and I'll probably show you stage by stage as I do it. The first thing I'll be doing is putting on that handle that's missing, and then I'll make updates as I go along. So there you go, the handle does fit, which obviously we knew it would fit, but it's something I thought should have come with it. Can't see why they'd include it with a long reach and not this one. I know it's £30 more, but personally I prefer to pay a bit more for this to have that handle, but if there's another reason they don't supply it with it, I don't know. The next thing it tells you to do is to fit the hand guard, but obviously that goes on the unit, so I won't be doing that right now. So next after that is the fitting the shaft, so I'm going to do that now, see if there's any problems or whether it's nice straightforward. So there's the shaft and it goes on to there. Okay, bear with me, remember I'm trying to do this one-handed, right? So here is the shaft. Now the instructions say, oops, damn it, it says lay it on a, it's important that the hedge trimmer is laid on a flat surface when you fit the cutting head, otherwise the cutting head may not be straight. Right, fairly straightforward and makes sense. Fit the cutting head to the shaft. Caution, make sure the drive shaft, which is that, engages into the recess into the cutting head. Tighten the lower screw first, then the upper screw. Right, now that makes sense, right? So obviously you've got to make sure that engages and it fits in snugly before you tighten it up. But look at the bit that would connect to the unit, right? It's got this, I assume that that will be the bottom and that thing will be on the top. I've had a look at the picture of it, but it just shows it fitted with the cap on, or the other, sorry, one of the caps on the end of it, so you can't tell, you can't actually orientate what way up is on that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to fit it to how I think it goes, and I'm going to keep that bit up. and then not over tighten it or anything. Well, I wouldn't over tighten it anyway, but then I'm gonna obviously later on when I unbox the unit, I'm gonna judge which is obviously how it attaches to the actual unit itself, the Combi tool, whatever you want to call it. But there's nothing in the instructions to show in the pictures what's what there. I don't think so, there's nothing in that. So I'm just gonna do that for now and then come back and try and work it out. I probably will put the cap back on just to protect that for a while. But there you go, that's probably could have been a bit clearer. Okay, check this out, right? I think this is a bit pants and they need to sort of work on this, right? So the shaft, it's easy to make sure that's engaged, as it said, the tube and the shaft in the drive inside. Remember I said, you know, I have to work out whether that should be up, whether that should be up, whatever. Anyway, forget that for a moment, right? There's two screws that hold that in, right? One goes completely through the bottom, and then so that would go straight through, so that's obviously a longer screw, and then you have a shorter screw, right, obviously to go in there to just clamp that in place, right? There's the actual bit we're working on. Now that picture seems to show to me that the screws are the same length, right? What's a bit crap about this is there are no there's no reference, like when you get a piece of IKEA furniture and all the different screws and stuff like that, you can actually go back, and so the picture doesn't look that grey, or you're a bit confused which screws go in, you can actually go back and they're like numbered, right? It's not in the instruction manual, right? In this packet that seems to be for the handguard, but then these two screws are the ones that I would use for that. So the shorter one I would put in there. Let's see if I can do this. That's not too brilliant a fit. Anyway, I'll gently try to do that one-handed, and that obviously goes pretty much all the way through. So that's the ones I would use for that. But like I say, the picture shows, it may just be how the drawing is, but they seem to show them the same length. But in this packet you do have two of the same kind of screws. Well, they got a different thread on them, I suppose. So I don't know, I just think it could be a bit, because obviously you've got the reference to what screws are in there, I suppose. But that's the ones I'm going to use. I think that obviously is for the handguard, and that must be for those two. That's what I'm going to use, so if I run into problems later on, I'll let you know. It could have been a bit better laid out, I thought, but here I go. I'm going to use those. So the two screws that I think, one shorter, one longer, I'm pretty sure I'm correct. It's a bit worrying because this bottom one was nice and easy. I mean, I could hand tighten that almost all the way through until obviously it reached this one. I'm definitely made sure I didn't cross thread, but it was a lot tighter fit, but I'm pretty sure they're the right ones. So there you go, and that's it for the moment until I can fit the handguard, and that is what seems the other screws are for, because there's nothing else left to do if the instructions. The rest of it is the handguard, so when I do that I'll show you that. But really that's all there is, and obviously the shaft and the tube to go in, so when I fit that to the unit, and I'll try and work out which way that goes, I'll show you that. But there you go, that's really all there is to installing it. There was something actually saying that, see if I can find it. which I haven't come across before. No, if I can find it, I might be getting confused with another piece of board, but if I find it, I'll come back to you. So, because we opened the hedge trimmer first, and we weren't sure, well, we guessed which way that went, and we decided that it was up, but although no, the instructions didn't show you that. I'm just going to show you as well what I'm probably going to do. Now remember, I didn't over tighten. It's very gentle doing it up because I said it probably, I'll need to undo it later on, or maybe have to undo it later on, but in the pole saw, it had a hole, didn't it? Where the screw went through and then sat flush against that. So obviously the screw has marked it where I've done it up, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to drill that so that the screw does actually pass through and sits flush in there. So I'm going to do that now if I've got to find my drill bits, because I think otherwise it's just going to keep coming loose, whereas if the screw goes right the way through, I reckon they forgot to drill that out, to be quite honest. I don't know, that's what I'm going to do anyway. Just a quick update. I just wanted to show you that I said I was going to do it, and I drilled a hole so that the screw goes right the way through. The same on the pruner attachment, and holds it in place, and it actually went quite well. I'm really pleased with that. I think they probably should be come from Husqvarna this way, rather than the screw sticking out as you saw how it was, but I don't know, I just drilled it out, made sure no iron filings were in there, and I'm quite pleased with the results. There you have it, all tightened up, screw completely flush, and I'll be more pleased with how that went. It was very easy to drill out because it's obviously, I don't know, aluminium I suppose, and yeah, really pleased with it. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fit this guard that came with the hedge trimmer attachment, and I've discovered an interesting thing, right? So there's the instructions for the guard, right? So let's go back. I fitted the handle. I told you it's got a slight curve, and the curve seems to me to be to go over here. Here's a picture in their instruction book, right? So you can see on this side there's the wing nut, and to orientate you there's the pull cord, so you can see what side it's on, right? So there's the wing nut, or whatever you want to call it, and there's the pull cord. So I'm pretty sure I'm on the right side, wouldn't you agree? Right, see that? Now let me show you this. For goodness sake, sorry, this is really difficult to do one-handed, and it's peeing me off with these Husqvarna instructions. Right, see if I can get that on there without slipping. So, can you see that? Shows it the other side. Right, which is correct, because that won't go on that way. That's the way it's supposed to go on to guard you from blades, etc. Don't line up. Does line up that way. Isn't that interesting? So whether that's just that way round, because the people who made the catalogue also thought instinctively it goes that way, and it doesn't, or it goes that way when you're using it as a strimmer and everything else, but when you want to use it as a hedge trimmer attachment, it goes the other way. I don't know, that's weird, but I'm going to fit it and show you anyway. This what I can make out, what came with the hedge trimmer, this bit and the screw, is exactly the same, and what I'm hoping is I can, because it shows you obviously that wing nut is missing or maybe it hasn't got enough depth with that added, so you have to lose that, which is a bit of a pain because that's nice and quick if you want to adjust it. So I'm going to see if I can put it on and retain that, or if I have to, that I'm pretty sure they're both going to be the same length, etc. But I'm going to try and retain that with that, but see what happens. So I've taken the handle off, reversed it, and now this lines up nicely. But can you see that there? What you got to do is undo these and remove this, I think they call it, let's see what they say, it's a clutch sleeve. So there's two mounting things I've got to take off. I'm hoping this is going to be nice and easy and straightforward. I'm starting to get a bit annoyed. But anyway, I'm going to do it and see how it goes, see what it looks like with it on. Okay, good news, the clutch sleeve comes off nice and easy. There's not much to it. An interesting thing, and you can do it, everything that it's, if you don't have to have extra tools, it all comes in the packs that they supply. Whoever done these up though, I'll tell you what, they really, I would never have done them up that tight. Maybe they use torque settings on their tools, but wow, it was really tight. It's easy enough to undo, but really tight. So anyway, that's that on. And now I'm going to put the clutch sleeve back and go from there. Decided not to put the clutch sleeve on in case I'm not going with this yet. And I've just tried this. It doesn't fit with this wing nut. So I don't know if I want to lose that. What I'm going to quickly do is try it without that washer in just for now, and see if it reaches. You know, it would have been nice to have kept that. I mean, all I need to do is find this bolt a bit longer and retain it, because it is nice to have that adjustment, but not necessarily, you know, totally needed. But it would have been nice to have kept it. But now I'm going to do it the way they say, remove that and then try it on. Well, actually I'm going to try it with this washer missing first, just to see if it reaches then. If not, I'm going to do it the way they say. So let's have a go. Okay, it doesn't reach even with the washer removed, so I'm going to have to go with how it is in the instructions and lose this. So I'm going to try it that way now. So as you can see, that that's the screw that came with that wing nut or bolt, whatever you want to call it, and that's the one. So now it's going to be too long with that removed, so I'm going to have to use the one that came with the hedge guard trimmer attachment. So just worth mentioning as well that the washer, or whatever you call it, is smaller with the hedge trimmer attached or guard, so worth mentioning that. And then it now seems that one of those screws from that packet goes, let's see, where is it? There. So I'm just going to work out which one goes through there, and then that's it, it's connected. I don't know what you think it looks like. I'll just do it and give you, fix that screw in and give you another look. Okay, so it shows you now that you screw so through there into that, right? And on the picture it seems to show a short screw. This is in the other packet I've opened up now. Let that focus, there we go. There's a short screw. Short screw doesn't fit. It's sort of a self-tapping, and I'm thinking it's possibly that one. I'm going to mess around with the others. Could it be that one? Maybe I should try that one. Don't think it's that. I think it's a self-tapping. It would be nice to know which one it is though, without all this sodding around, but there you go. Gonna go with that one, I think. I'll have a play around and try and work it out, and then I'll show you. Okay, there was no thread in there, so I went with a self-tapping out of the screws that were in there. So it was the long version of that I went for, or longer version of that. So there you go, and there it is on there. Don't know what these other screws are, by the way. Maybe there's other attachments that need those, but we certainly needed to open the packet to attach that. But there you go. And keep those other bits and pieces all together in case I revert back to getting rid of that. But there you go. So the handle, as we saw, is reverse when you're just using it or fitting it the other way, or that's what the instructions show. But if you want to fit that, it goes the opposite way around. It's not a huge job or anything. It's a little bit of a pain that it doesn't go that way around. Well, I assume there's a reason for it. Oh, I don't know. They got this. I thought you could use this to tighten this one up, but I don't know why they're showing that link there. That's what I thought they were saying, that that head would sit and tighten that screw up, but it doesn't. So I don't know what that is about, but I've got something that will tighten it. Their tool supplied obviously doesn't. There's nothing, so that's the only thing, which is not a hardship, but I need a separate tool socket to do that up, but that's it. So what do you think with that thing on? Would you have it? I don't know. I think I'll probably keep it, but what will be the most interesting part is when I'm actually using the attachments and whether it gets in the way or aids. But there you go. So to finish off then, here is some clips of how it looks when it's actually attached to the Combi unit. In my opinion, it really looks the business. I think it looks purposeful, rugged, robust looking, and it just looks really professional, and that it looks like it'll go the distance. I really like it a lot. When deciding to opt for this particular hedge trimmer attachment over its long reach equivalent, I reason this would be the best option for most of the applications that I would need it for. And for the situations better suited to the long reach attachment, I purchased the Husqvarna extension shaft for them, which is the EX780, to make it a long reach. I can't find anything in the instructions regarding what to do in the event of jamming the blades, but there is a screw at the bottom of the gear housing where you can manually use it to rotate the blades. However, worth pointing out that unlike my Husqvarna Hedge trimmer, the 122 HD60, you cannot rotate the blades back and forth depending on the jam, and with this you can only rotate through a complete cycle. So yeah, just thought I'd point that out. So with the hedge trimmer attached to the Combi unit, and thinking about it again, the only reason I can think that they omitted the handle on this but not the long reach was because they thought that it would clash with the coupling knob. That is the only reason I can think. Yeah, that's it really. But that's it for this particular attachment, but I will be reviewing another 4 attachments plus the actual Combi unit itself. So if you enjoyed this, then hopefully you can enjoy the rest of them. So that's it for now, and goodbye.